Welcome to the Piss Me Off Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Russell, and this is the podcast about everything we've ever peed on. So here we are. My first grade teacher, a snow leopard. That's a good story, but no, I digress.
It is a real story.
That's a real story.
The
snow leopard, not my teacher.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the teacher would be more believable because at that age.
I'm trying to think if there's anything cool that I've peed on. I peed on girls in the shower.
Yeah,
but who hasn't done that?
If you don't do that, did you even?
I do it every time. I do it to a point it's not even funny anymore. It's funny to me, but
yeah, I usually charge them more for the gold factor. It's called the gold package.
So this one starts out. Rusty's holding his 3-week-old son. So clearly, this is further down the line. Because in the last episode, she was 9 months pregnant, Amanda, and
so at the very least, it's like 3 months and a day or two later, or 3 weeks. I'm sorry, 3 weeks and a day or two later. 3 months. That's an insane pregnancy.
Yeah, it'd be nuts.
Fucker's not coming out. He's already got teeth. Cut the umbilical cord himself.
And so Amanda's cooking for her Christian boyfriend, Christian, who is coming to the house.
Fettuccine Alfredo, which is one of my favorites.
And she's trying to get Rusty out of the house, but Rusty says he's not leaving until Christian gets there.
Understandable. Make sure he's going into my house so I get where he's coming from.
And Rusty's like mocking Amanda about cooking. I don't know that well. She made me, actually one time she made me like this bagel breakfast sandwich, and I don't really like bagels, but it was fucking bomb as shit.
I fucking love bagels.
It was so good. So I wouldn't say she's a bad cook, but I just decided to put that. One thing that is true is I did have to teach her that, not teach her, I did tell her, well no that's not true, but I had to tell her that you can't put spoons and forks in the microwave. She didn't know it.
Oh, what the fuck? How'd you get this far in life and not know that?
I don't know. I mean, some people just don't know.
I think I did it when I was like 5. My mom got me.
In fact, a spoon, I've seen them like test it, and a spoon actually doesn't do anything. It's the fork that'll spark.
Probably because of the prongs.
Yeah.
Electricity jumping from back to back.
And then she mentions that he says something about not undercooking the chicken and poisoning Christian, and she says that Christian is a vegan. By the way, vegans can't eat cheese or butter. Everybody knows that now. When this was written, veganism wasn't as like mainstream as it is now.
Yeah, even I went vegan for a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Then I tried keto. I think I made it longer vegan.
Yeah, you didn't go keto very long.
I did it for like maybe a week, and then I did like.
You did keto like long enough to go. And
I think it was like 2 weeks. I did it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, eh.
Although I don't really go in ketosis, I don't think either because I don't count beer carbs. Not that I drink every day like some people, but
every other day.
I cheat kind of frequently, but
I'll take every day. I drank last night. Well, tonight's a special occasion because of the podcast.
Tonight's a special occasion. Yeah, I drank and had wings earlier, so I'm pretty tired and I have a headache. But I'm drinking, for the fans.
Yeah, I didn't really plan on drinking because I'm going on a little staycation tomorrow, so. I'm going to be drinking literally for the majority of daylight being around, and then for the majority that the sun will be gone as well. So
then Rusty states some facts. Dating a vegan, legally speaking, makes you a lesbian. I'm
in law school. I cannot contest to that, but it's true.
And then, her whole plan's ruined once Rusty says that vegans can't eat butter and cheese. So she has to make fettuccine ragu, which just sounds disgusting to me.
Well, is it even really fettuccine at that point?
Technically, yeah. Still fettuccine.
Yeah, the
noodles are fettuccine.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, they're linguine.
Right? It's a different noodle.
Is it fatter? It's fatter, right?
Fettuccine, yeah, is the long, broad...
I should know this from Italian.
I know more about Italian stuff than my Italian friends.
Yeah, well, people also often research things they hate, so.
I don't hate Italians. I have a beef.
No, I have. Yeah, okay, Italian Americans. Yeah, I was about to say because I've heard you say Italian before you.
Well, I'm shortening it. Actually, I think Italian's cool. I'd like to go to Rome and we could all make fun of Italian Americans.
I think they already do that.
Even I know. That's what I'm saying. I'll just join in on the fun.
Yeah, well, they can come over to fucking Jersey Shore, bro.
That's what I'm talking about. I hate them.
And
I've worked for a bunch of
fucking
Italian pizza owners.
Yeah.
So that's where this stems from.
But-
Because I just hate them. And how much they love themselves.
He was straight off the boat from Sicily. Robert.
Fuck him. I don't care.
So he wasn't Italian
He should
American.
have fell off the boat and drowned. Fuck that guy.
I agree, but I digress. It's my word of the night.
See how many times you can use the word digress.
It's like saying
But
meow,
functionally.
like meow. Yeah, it's gotta be functional. It's like the meow. You can't just go up there and be like meow meow.
That'd be
meow.
an easy one though, because you can just digress from every fucking topic you get on. So let's not do that. So
We digress.
anyways, then Amanda says something. She's never said this to me because obviously it's not true, but it is something that would piss me off. She says at least he's funny. And then Rusty goes into a whole rant on nobody's funnier than him, which
Bill Cosby.
Amanda knows. She's never met or will ever meet anybody funnier than me. So that's not really a Amanda thing. I gotta cross these off or I'm gonna forget.
You say that every time.
I know. You think we'd be good at this by now?
I would think you would start using a different pen that's not broken.
I know. I'm still using the same pen. It's still working though.
That's gonna be in the fucking Smithsonian one day.
This is still my hair from work this morning. I've slept in it twice, I think, today. Well, not twice, obviously, but I took a long nap in it, and it's still standing up.
This
not
is
bad.
still the hair that hasn't fallen out yet.
It's
so.
it's this. This like cowlick just goes to the side and it throws the whole, symmetry off. Sorry, guys. I have to deal with it. I have to deal with it on a daily basis. Don't shake the table too much because it's not that sturdy.
I won't. I'll be careful.
Today, Junior. So, God, I can't even read my own fucking handwriting.
We're learning something new about Rusty today.
So Amanda, tries to guilt trip him and say, do me a favor because I let you pick the name.
Yeah, well, the favor was staying with you, you skank.
The favor was taking care of his brother. Now,
So,
my kid's
you
name.
did not once reference him as your brother this entire episode.
Yeah, because he's becoming like a father.
Yeah, that's why I'm correcting you now. Like, it's no longer your brother; it is your son now.
Yeah, it is Rusty's son. That is the life that they've chosen to live.
They call him Little Rust.
However, Dexter Dudeness will most likely be my son's name. I kind of like the name Sterling too, but my baby mama, I'm not gonna say wife because there'll probably be a few of them. Will not get a say in my son's name.
You say that, and she could deliver the baby in a hospital and not tell you where it's at, and then only be the only one that signs the birth certificate.
Oh, blood choker. And
She still would win.
She would die.
Can't blood choke me. I've already reversed one in real life.
Reverse blood choke. I'll reverse blood choke.
Oh shit! Okay, I wasn't prepared for that, gents, ladies and gents. I'm sorry. I might get got in this one.
I just learned how to blood choke on YouTube the other day.
And this is why people like him are not supposed to know these things.
Well, it should be that simple to just find
It's
out.
something I learned in the military, and then he automatically is like, I'm just gonna start blood choking people.
I don't know why
this is why you're not supposed to know these things as a fucking person like you. Great power comes.
If you get in the right position, it's super easy.
Yeah, it is.
So the baby poops. His pants. Rusty's not going to change that. Amanda's a stay-at-home mom. You're paying the price. It's your job, 24/7.
Take notes, Chelsea.
They don't watch this, right?
No.
Okay.
But maybe in a few years when
it's huge,
we're all famous. Like, let's watch the origin ones.
When they're playing replays on TBS, 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah. But that
Steve Harvey's hosting and doing commentary. Just wait, motherfuckers. Let's see.
You don't want to see me as a guest. I'll be like Chris Farley, but fatter.
We'll be on to something else. We won't even care. Be like, oh, there's our show that made us millions of dollars. Bitch.
Yeah, all 5 likes.
Baby poops. Amanda goes upstairs, and just so happens that's when Christian knocks on the door.
Dexter didn't plan it or anything. Or maybe he did. Maybe he's a secret genius. We don't know yet.
Dexter's
not that far in the story.
Daddy's homeboy, so he probably did.
He is Rusty's dad's homeboy. Because he's not his son.
No. That's good, I guess.
It was a stretch, but...
It still made sense.
That's why I said it was a stretch.
And then, of course, Rusty's being a dick to Christian. I think if I met Christian in real life, I'd be pretty nice to him. I have no reason to be a dick to him. What?
Nothing.
I just saw your hand.
I don't know.
I think I would be nice to him. I mean, especially if he's like a nice guy. I'm not mean to people for no reason.
You're gonna see when you watch this later.
Yeah,
you're completely wrong about what you're. I was like, little bitch.
Oh. Well, why? I don't have a reason to be a dick to him.
Yes, you do. Still love your life.
She kind of just left. I mean, you know.
If I seen my Amanda, even right now, if she was at a bar, I feel like
he probably doesn't even know who I am.
Exactly. This guy wouldn't know.
How is that his problem?
It's not. It will be though.
I don't see it that way. I wouldn't be mean to him. I would be nice to him. There's nothing to be mean to him.
I'd be like, why are you at my bar?
I'd be like, hey, I'd probably get one of these, you know.
That's
like
Catholic.
Christian.
That's Catholic. If he's not Catholic, he's gonna be like,
what do Christians do?
Just fuck.
I'd do the Nazi monk
we do
thing.
the Father, the Son, the Holy
I'd be
Spirit.
like, I don't know. I'd do the Christian thing. I'd learn it. I'd know I'm gonna meet him. I'm like, I gotta learn this shit. I'm gonna learn the Christian handshake, whatever gets you to the club, and he's gonna fucking love me.
Look what Jesus did.
And it turns out that Christian is in AA, not real Christian, in the story, which I've had to do that, court ordered. I hate that place. If you read the first...
Hey, I had a DD for like a whole year because he was down to go to parties, but he couldn't drink. So I would go out there and he would drive my car. It worked out great.
We would eat Checkers every fucking night. And
yeah, I was
Checkers.
drunk. Why were you doing that?
Because you would want to go to Checkers. I would say every night, be like, oh, it's so good. I'm like, no, Checkers is not good unless you're drunk.
A drunk Baconzilla is like a regular Big Mac. It's up there.
And then we move out here, and the closest fucking fast food place to us that we could just walk to, it's fucking Checkers.
Yeah, but in fairness, right across the street is a BK.
Yeah, but you get across the street. And it's
BK is like, here's Checkers, here's BK, here's McDonald's.
No.
And then Chick-fil-A is on the same
I used to shit on Burger King hard, but I'd pick Burger King over a McDonald's.
I would just because I love the double quarter pounder with cheese, add sub mac sauce.
McDonald's is actually what ruined why I hated Burger King is because I would order so many burgers at McDonald's, and then I would try to do the same thing at Burger King, and they're just bigger, like, portions and shit, and I couldn't understand why it would just give me a stomachache because I was so fat eating all this goddamn Burger King.
He saw the numbers and not the feeling of his stomach.
By the way, if you go to Burger King, get a Twix pie. Twix pies are amazing. It's the great. Listen, they give you a fork. I don't know why.
I'm gonna hand eat that bitch.
Oh, in the car. The first thing I do is grab that Twix pie
like
and
a piece of hand
as
fruit.
I'm driving back to the house with my food.
Like an apple.
Fuck yes,
it's an aggressively large strawberry.
So Rusty starts talking shit about AA, and Christian says it helps a lot of people. And, is that what he says?
Yeah, and some about suicide.
Yeah, he said that suicide helps a lot of people too.
I'm sorry, am I not supposed to say anything?
Well, I mean, you ruined the punchline.
It was in the right order.
But you said the punchline before I could say the punchline.
I know.
But you didn't even say the punchline. You just said, you know what I mean? You kind of...
Yeah, I kind of butchered it.
No worries. We've got plenty of them. Then, of course, Rusty tells him he's been to prison, which is not true. He's not been to prison.
Should be in prison.
He does have a good little story, though. It's kind of convincing about
sodomizing a large Polish man.
No, Russian. And
Russian,
He would beat him unconscious in the prison yard and then fuck his unconscious body in front of the other inmates to show his dominance, which would be me in prison. I
didn't know you were Russian.
Oh, that's fine. See, that's one that, like, there's a couple jokes when I rewatch this that you say that make sense, and I would just look at you like, what? Because I don't get them. And then when I rewatch them, it's like, oh, I get it.
I'm a little advanced.
What the fuck was I about to say? Anyways, Rusty leaves and goes to Alex's apartment once he gets frustrated with Christian.
Or a whole lot of gang shit happens. I don't even know what this gang is, but they already know what's good.
You know what story I have to... Don't say it, but you know what story I have to tell at the end of this, right? Do you remember
this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, I do. And I was going to ask you if you had to tell this story.
I do have to tell this story.
And I was going to stay quiet about it.
By the way...
I did not want you to tell this story because my explanation, though true, and I will fucking stand by it,
hold on. Let's get
ridiculous.
Okay, well, let's get to it later. I will say now, if you're a family member...
I hate this story.
A family member or anything, don't watch the end of this episode. if you don't want to hear the story.
I don't even want to tell the story.
You don't have to tell the story. I'm going to tell the story.
No, because if you tell the story, I will look worse. I look bad either way.
You don't look bad. My actions do not reflect on you. And I have good reasoning. And I'll explain it to you at the end of the fucking episode.
We might be talking about different stories.
Okay. Well, we'll get into it.
Okay. Fair enough.
So Rusty is, he was knocking on Alex's door. He's trying to avoid Jamie. Hears her coming, and he just opens. He didn't even knock on Alex's door. Jamie, the girl that was based off of my actual neighbor, who in the story is Alex's neighbor that I talked about in like 2 podcasts ago.
Well, I wish I would have got to fuck your neighbor in real life.
Me too.
Me too. The one on the left. Just kidding.
She's on the left if you're looking at the house.
No, I was talking about from where we used to hang on the garage. But
there's nobody on.
We would always
there's
look
no
at the
house
street.
there.
We would always look at the street. I know, I'm just joking.
Rusty is trying to ignore her so she'll like him more, which does have
strong strategy. It works.
It does work. It doesn't work on everybody.
It honestly works most often when you don't think it's going to work.
It's a better thing than fuckboys that like text too much.
Those are called simps.
Okay, simps. Like when you first start talking to girls, I don't want to call anybody out, but I know people who do this, and they don't care that they do it, so it's, I know who you're talking about. They talk their ear off. And, like, they text them, like, these long messages, and the girl's back, like, 1 second.
He should be our guest star one day.
I don't know if he wants to be. I'll ask him.
Probably not, but he'll do it. So the first time I've got to do something that I want to do.
So, Rusty, you basically become like a mystery when you just cut them off, and then they start wondering about you, and people are addicted to mysteries, especially girls. They watch all the time. They watch the fucking murder mysteries and shit.
There was semen on the carpet.
And then, Rusty says, when you meet him, you're a girl, you're better off just having sex with him, because you put him in the friend zone, he's going to make you fall in love with him, and then ruin both of your lives, which isn't not true.
I mean,
probably not true.
Amanda's life.
My life's not right now. Well, not just no, that doesn't. That's like she's like the only one that doesn't apply to. I wouldn't.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so there's a couple hints. Rusty says that he picked up baking soda and quote the seasoning, and you'll find out in another episode what the seasoning.
By the way, I have a question. How far are we on that?
You're right where he starts cooking crack.
Yeah. There's a part. Can I ask about that now or no?
You cannot ask me something that might be a spoiler. You can ask me after this.
I'll ask you when you bring it up.
Ask me after this, because if you spoil what is going to be found out in another episode, I'm going to be mad.
No, I didn't. I'm asking if it's a reference to something, not to a future thing.
Well, I'll tell you now. It's for the future thing.
Okay.
So they're red pancake-sized rocks.
How would you fit that in a bowl?
He made them. Well, they are pancake-sized because I watched a documentary on cooking crack, and they were making them into big pancakes because it just kind of settles at the bottom of the not skillet, but what is that called? The bowl. The fucking boiler. Pot. Jesus Christ.
I thought I was one.
Come on.
I thought that was too easy for me to think that that's.
You forgot the word words.
I knew what, I was the first thing that came to my head was pot.
Words all the time.
But then,
I look like an idiot because I'm standing there going.
I was thinking, after I thought pot, I was like, oh, that's too easy. I'm like, colander, mason jar. Think about things you make crack with.
Colander,
not a colander, but mason jar.
Isn't a colander a pot?
Strainer? Strainer?
It's a pot,
it's a colander, I think. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, forgive me, French people, because that sounds French.
Well, anybody who had fucking seizure disease, I can't think of that word either.
Seizures.
Yeah, but what epilepsy? I call it seizure disease. So anyways, he brings, after he's done cooking the crack, he brings it to Brandon and Jerry. And they, of course, talk it up because they're selling it, saying that, it's making so much money. People are saying it's like an elevated high and a different taste. And so they're just making hella fucking money on this. And after he leaves Brandon and Jerry's, there's a little girl that was on the corner when he pulled up, and she approaches him.
Which I have to say, I'm very, very happy that it didn't end up the way I thought it was going to end up because of what happened with the picture in the first season. I thought that was going to... When I first read that, I was like, no, don't, man. Come on. Don't do that.
So so the girl ends up being a prostitute. She, asks if he's looking for a good time. He's like, what are you, scalping tickets to Disney World? She's 12 years old, and then when Rusty hears this, he gets very upset, and he asks her who's doing it. It turns out her uncle's pimping her out.
Uncle Lee, your butt. Oh, you know what? Fuck, dude, I almost wore my best Uncle Ever shirt, and I should have. The one that Chelsea got me with the dad.
Dude, weird thing to wear in this episode.
It would have been. It would have fit the premise, ironically.
Yeah, but
I digress.
You don't want to be like this uncle. Rusty tells her that he wants to talk to him, and then he said he's just going to grab his wallet. And when he goes in to grab his wallet, he also tucks his gun into his pants.
Wait, naturally.
She leads him to the house. There's a man on the front porch, and he yells for Rusty to stop.
Which I probably would too.
Rusty says that he wants to make a request, and he's like, I'd rather not yell it across the front lawn. So he lets him come up there, and he turns on a light, and there's a pistol sitting in his lap. And then he says, what's your request? And he says, it's a big one.
Then it goes silent.
And then it goes silent.
The dialogue of the request is not there, but you get the gist.
It goes to forward in time a little bit. It goes
you get the gist later.
And then, right when you think Rusty's about to cap this guy in the fucking head, Rusty actually is trying to frame Christian with a 12-year-old. That's the whole point.
And I didn't know that. I didn't realize what was happening, honestly. I thought it was still, like, whenever Rusty described, like, the situation, I still, in my head, thought it was somehow still going to get
He was still going to shoot him?
Yeah, something like that. And then, like, next over, you're like, somebody asks, like, oh, did you hear about that youth pastor guy? Then I laugh. I'm like, yeah, we know. I'm like, all right, boom, now I know exactly who that was about. I know exactly what the whole thing was about.
Yeah, it's like you'd see in any other movie where he's just going up there to kill the guy, to bring justice. Rusty doesn't care. He's actually paying the pimp to have his niece go to the new Christian, church,
Christian assembly, a Christian assembly center, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Gymnasium for Lord Dodgeball. Because
Christian the Christian is a youth pastor, she's going to say that he molested her. He thinks that Rusty is paying for her to have sex with him, and Rusty's like, I'm not paying anybody to have sex with anybody. To make that clear, I just want her to say that he basically molested her or raped her, and he's going to give them $5,000. And he gives them $2,000 two up front, and then
on the back nine.
Exactly.
Golf shirt.
He says 3 as soon as it's on the news.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then he says, you get a lawyer afterwards and sue him, and then just make a bunch more money. Which who knows? I'm pretty sure Christian churches keep their pedophilia out of
it's mainstream media.
I think it's
They usually settle immediately.
Are you going to pee?
No, I'm going to pee.
That's weird. And then so they thank Rusty. Rusty says, "Good luck, kid," and Joe, the uncle, says, "Now get back on that corner, bitch." Which is funny. Because she's 12. Who talks to a 12-year-old like that? This guy does.
It's probably a fucking school night, too. It's just irresponsible.
Hoeing on a school night. Bitches. Rusty also says, good luck, kid. And this is so then it jumps to a few weeks later. I think a few weeks. Like sometime later. I didn't mention it, but earlier Rusty was talking to Jerry and Brandon about getting a car because he always has to drop off the crack. And now they're at Alex's apartment, so clearly they got a car.
Made him.
And then Christian's on the news. And they're saying, they're probably just, because Jerry and Brandon know the little girl because she lives in their neighborhood, and they're saying, oh, she probably just run some scam with her uncle. And then Rusty's like, no, I know that guy. He's definitely a pedophile.
The plot thickens.
And then Alex asks Rusty if he's heard anything from Jamie. And Rusty's like, oh, not much recently. He still gives the same shit about she's in love with him. And really, before he can finish his gloating or whatever the fuck he's doing, Alex says, I fuck Jamie. And then Rusty goes, even though they were just talking about it, Rusty goes, Jamie who? So Rusty gets all pissed off because Alex is saying it's like, it just happened. Like, Rusty's putting all this work in for Alex. It just happened. And he's like, I was thinking about that while I was fucking her. I was like, how did Rusty not hit this? It was so easy.
It was so easy. She just came over and just grabbed me by the dick.
And then Rusty gets pissed. This was not Jamie, but this was a couple girls, that put me in the friend zone. And then you find out they're kind of, slutty. Not the friend zone, but, make you work for it. And then you find out they're slutty. It's like, why would you lie to me? If you're a slut, that's fine. Just be a slut the whole time. Don't fucking try to lie to me, try to lure me in to think you're a good person. Get the fuck out of here. Just be yourself, dumb slut. Which is not a bad thing to be. I feel like my hair's getting worse. It's the humidity, guys. I'm growing the beard back out.
Humidity. Alright.
God, I can't read my fucking handwriting.
Why don't you do something about that? Or type these up next time.
No way. Type them up. It takes too long. Plus, I'd have to sit here with a computer. I don't have a printer. Oh, come on. I kind of need a printer. How much money are we trying to put in this fucking podcast? Not much. I put $20
we haven't even got a
camera
camera yet.
Yeah, but camera. We'll start doing vlogs at some point. That's a camera. We don't need a camera. We got this camera.
Yeah, we're gonna go to public parks.
We already have a setup. Why change the setup? You know what I mean? Unless we move. When we move, we'll upgrade. So next year sometime. I still don't know what this means.
I was kind of low key in my burps until I realized we have a viewer that has a burp fetish.
Ooh, I know what this says.
So then I was like, oh yeah.
No, it's more than a viewer. That you don't understand. It's a few people. There's one person that has whatever the opposite of a fetish is.
We have a great hit in the fetish community.
There is a person that is. I don't know what, maybe Israeli.
This is the amateur porn version of what they probably watch for other burp, when they watch their burp porn or whatever. This is the amateur version where we don't even mean to be doing it.
I don't know if they're Israeli. I don't know if that's Russian. I don't know what the alphabet is, but it's not English. And they speak English, but their name,
and then there's C.
It's not. They literally watch every episode, and it's not like I just burp at the beginning. They're watching the entire episode. And every single episode that I burp, they're like, nasty burp. Again, disgusting burp. Gross man, gross burp. I'm a gross man, gross burp.
I thought they liked it. That's why I did that. I apologize.
I'm telling you. No, there are people that do like it, but this one is relentless. Every couple days I get a new fucking...
Well, then stop watching. I mean, watch, but don't be a dick about it.
I don't know if they're being a dick or if it's just a language barrier. Maybe they're into it, but I'm gross man, gross burp because...
I've used that one before.
Yeah.
I don't know if she said no. I thought it was a language barrier.
You really like the series? You're just turned off by the burps? I don't get it. But yeah, thanks for watching.
Maybe they read the series.
Doubt it.
I don't because maybe...
Well, I can see who reads. Somebody from Israel was not the last person, but the second to last person to actually read something. But then,
maybe they download the whole thing so they might have access to internet.
It's not downloadable.
It is if you take screenshots. I don't know.
No. So Alex is explaining that a girl wants a husband.
Oh shit!
It'll be fine. Believe me, we blew through this. It's only 29 minutes.
You've blown through a lot of things.
You have. A girl wants a husband she can boss around and manipulate, which is true, which is why they try to trick you. They think your husband is here, they're going to try to trick you. Oh, can I boss him around? Which is probably why I'm not married to, because you're not going to boss me around.
Depending on the woman, some women like to be told what to do.
In bed, but not in life. No.
Think about the 50s. 40s, the 30s, pretty much any time.
But now they're all uppity on their high horse. I think they're done with that.
But if you look at history, there's a small smidge where they don't like
history aside. Most of the girls I know with husbands, they're wearing the pants. They're bossing. Whatever their husband does, or whatever they want their husband does. I think that's how you keep a wife. That would not happen with my chick. You're not going to tell me what to do, really. And you know that already going in, so it's not something I have to say out loud. You could try.
I've been engaged twice, and I ended both of them, so I don't think that's the issue at all. I think it varies from woman to woman, for sure.
And so before Rusty leaves, he pees on Jamie's front door. Yeah, this is literally almost over. This might be the shortest one.
I doubt it. There's still on the page.
But it's only like one scene. Okay. So
we can play the game of Flip Cup at the end.
We don't have it set up. We could pause it, I guess, and do that.
Yeah, sounds good. We should pause it right now.
Here's the thing: if we play Flip Cup, the only chance of winning I have is if you just totally
don't flip the cup over.
Well, it wouldn't be one cup. It would be like
multiple cups.
Yeah, that would be. You would have to suck at that, which I think is a good chance.
Because I have
but the chugging thing will not fucking.
I have to. Yeah. Sorry, I held it for like 10 minutes. We were at like 20 minutes when I felt the urge.
He's back.
Welcome back to ESPN Live.
So Christian's waiting in the parking lot. In the driveway when.
Why are you driving a parkway and parking the driveway? It makes no sense.
Oh, let's go down. He wants beer. My dog likes beer. He likes sweet. He's got Paul. So yeah, Christian's just waiting, sitting in a chair in the driveway. Rusty pulls up, makes fun of him a little. He says he's not leaving until Amanda comes to talk to him. So then he begs Rusty to get Amanda to come out and talk to him. And Rusty goes, talks to Amanda. The baby's asleep. She's laying there with the dogs. Amanda doesn't want to see him. She tells Rusty to make him leave. So Rusty comes back out to the garage to have a little chat. Yeah, smoking a blunt to have a little chat with Christian.
Might as well be named Kristen now.
I still wanted to say that. So, he tries to actually talk to Christian, like, you believe that God has a plan.
Condescending as shit.
But
I digress.
But it's still into his logic. You believe God has a plan, so why are you upset? God has a plan for you. It's just part of his plan, so write it out, homie. And then Christian, is refusing to leave. Rusty gets a little more aggressive. He pulls out the hose and he starts interrogating him.
Not meaning Amanda.
What?
He said hose. Just making a play on words.
So Rusty now wants to know, because it's not clear.
Where's the girl?
Yeah, he wants to know if he did actually rape the little girl.
Which he kind of knows that. I mean,
that's totally.
That's true. You don't know
up to the reader. You don't know.
That's true, because when you leave, you say whatever you guys do is up to you, but you just know I'm not paying you for that. I'm paying you to make sure that it looks like you did. I don't care what you do or not.
Yeah.
So you don't really know what happened, but.
And Christian's being a little bitch blood positive. And Rusty says, come on, Christian. He's trying to get Christian to fight him. And he said, Christian, I'm a grown man spraying you with a hose. Like, you can't just sit here and be sprayed by a hose all night. You need to. And he's cycling through the hose settings, Jad, flat, all that shit.
He's fancy. He's got one of those fancy heads.
Yeah.
I just switch one thumb and a finger.
It's literally like a $3 tool. You can buy it at Home Depot. But he's like, you can't sit here and get sprayed by a hose all night. Either leave or fucking fight me. And then he starts busting out the Full Metal Jacket quotes, pretty much the whole intro. I can't even think of them right now. It's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna try.
Good dicks. I don't know any either, so I can't save you on it.
Well, I know a lot of them. It's just this particular part. I can't quote verbatim. And Christian keeps saying, I'm the bigger man to Rusty. He's trying to, be the Christian, be the bigger man, not fight.
Kristen.
I've called him Christian a few times. So Rusty, again, just keeps spraying him with the hose. And then Christian says, I'm the bigger man again. And Rusty's had enough. He wraps the hose around Christian's neck, throws him to the ground, begins strangling, and says, I'm the bigger man, motherfucker.
And at that point, Christian's eyes started bulging out.
Red veins, and he's being strangled. No, he's being strangled. He almost dies, and then Rusty lets go, and then says, "No, get the fuck off my lawn."
Which, if he would have been the blood choke when he wrote this, I guarantee that would have been fucking where the story would be at that point.
No, because it's just better, like, visually if somebody being choked with a hose, and then the whole thing with the hose at the beginning. I write this shit like it's gonna go on screen because it's gonna go on screen. Rusty lets go, says that Christian leaves. Rusty's victorious.
It's like, yeah, go back to Christian Mingle, bitch.
Then Rusty grabs his bowl that's usually used for weed and he fills it with cigarette ash. Now, why does he fill it with
Because
cigarette
that's
ash?
what you do when you smoke crack.
When you smoke crack, so it doesn't stick to your bowl, you put in cigarette ash. Now, here's a little story.
Surprisingly accurate fact.
Here's a little story. The reason I know that, this started... It sounds really bad. It's not bad. Not that bad.
Sure you want to tell the story?
Yeah, I do. This started, I've been waiting to tell the story, and I just realized when I was writing this that it was...
I remember when it happened.
But you remember when we used to talk about it. In the first
you used
book...
to talk about it, and I told you it was...
When I would talk about doing it. The first book when I was on drug court, when I wrote. And there was a scene that I wanted the characters to smoke crack. Now, being an honest writer and shit, you know, I write about Molly, mushrooms, that kind of stuff. I've done that, so I know what it's like. I hate when writers write about doing drugs that they've never done. So, for the story, I wanted to smoke some crack, get my hands on some crack. And when I originally wanted to do this, I was on drug court, writing the first one. That never happened. I ended up making it a thing about Molly because I'd done enough of that. Until this, and I knew I wanted to do this, and I just so happened to be this guy I used to work with, good friend of mine. He looked like somebody who could easily get crack.
He looked like somebody who had crack, I'm guessing.
He didn't have crack.
No, but he looked like he would have.
Well, him and another dude used to do crack just on the weekends together, and they're actually cool and functional and good parents and shit. But I told him the story. He thought it was funny that I wanted to, you know, write about crack, so I would have to try crack. So he said he could get me crack.
True story.
Yes, this is a true story. And so he called me one night after we had talked about it, and he's like, I'm trying to get it from my boy, but my boy wants to talk to you first. And I was like, okay. So his boy gets on, sounds like a crack dealer. He's like, yo, homie's telling me that you're trying to do this for like a story. You've never done it. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, bro, listen, man, I've had so many friends get like addicted to this. He's like, it's not, if you're just doing it for this, it's not. And I shut him down. I'm like, listen, dude, I know what I'm doing. Do not fucking talk to me like that. Either sell me the crack or don't. And he got pissed. He was like, bro, what the fuck? He's like, I'm just trying to tell you, I'm trying to help you out. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't need you to help me. I don't even know you. It was like, I'm just trying to, it was $10 for a crack rock. All right. And it was like, I don't fucking, what are you doing? I'm doing this for a purpose. I have I'm not just smoking crack to fucking smoke crack.
Mind you, we're doing this from a halfway house. Just kidding. This looks like one.
So I got the crack. I looked up on the internet how to do it, how to smoke it.
Lots of helpful life hack tips.
Yeah, putting the cigarette ash in there.
From single parents.
By the way, even with the cigarette ash in there, when I smoked it, the crack like melted in there, and I could always taste the crack like in the pipe afterwards till it shattered. It's like baking soda.
Yeah, then all he could taste was glass. Until it shattered. So he did till it shattered.
So I also
not landed.
It's like the Malaysia flight; it never landed.
Never landed.
By the way, this was not a secret thing. Everybody knew that I was going to do this.
He called me that night or texted me, one of the two.
I told everybody at work I didn't send. I don't know why I didn't send this to you, but I sent everybody at work a Snapchat. I smoked it.
You did send me a Snapchat.
Did I get you? I did send you a Snapchat.
Yeah.
So I smoked it.
I think I called you. I called you because you sent me that Snapchat.
I smoked it and then filmed myself for all of 2 minutes on Snapchat, sent to my friends, and gave them a review of crack. I gave a one smoke review of crack.
One toke. Everybody knows the rules.
Yeah. It made my lips numb. It made my lips completely numb, which was really nice. But it was just like it was weird. It wasn't like doing like I've never done this, but I would know like a line of cocaine. But it wasn't like that at all. Well, it didn't feel like that. It felt more relaxing, kind of, but it only lasted about 2 minutes, and then it felt like the end of cocaine. Actually, worse than that. It was the worst come down ever. So it's like 2 minutes of like good feeling to like just feeling like shit for like 2 hours. And
that to me just sounds like you got to smoke a lot of it. Really
well, that's why in my head I put it together. It's like, oh, that's why it's so addictive. It's because you smoke some and then you need to smoke more to get back to work. Just to even feel normal again, you gotta smoke more.
Like a airbender.
So that night I did hit them up and like I was like I kind of want more, but it was taking too long. I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and I just like laid down and have not smoked crack since then. And this has been 3 years. So,
3 years clean.
Some people have problems, and some people are just so mentally tough. The only thing I'm not mentally tough with is these. And those are the worst problem in my life. And I guess I'm not mentally tough with Amanda either. She's the best drug. God, I'm so sappy.
She's married, man.
Just don't want heroin if it was married too, if you were a heroin addict. Never done heroin. Amanda, Rusty goes into Amanda's room and he's feeling uncomfortable, which you do feel very uncomfortable, and he's trying to use his uncomfortability to, get closer to Amanda now that Christian's gone. And he asks if he can sleep in her bed so she can comfort him, and she says yes. Oh my God, will they or won't they? It's just so incredibly...
Will they end up together or will it be a bust? Either way, somebody's going to bust.
She asked why he did it. I wanted to know what it was like. Not really the true story. I wanted to know what it was like so I could write about it. It didn't even give me that much to write about. But it worked in the sense of the story.
In the context of now you're honest about it.
Yeah,
you can honestly say it's not all cracked up to be.
I was just about to say that. That is my joke. That is my joke. That is my fucking joke.
There's no proof.
The proof is that it was written in the goddamn story.
Nobody reads the story.
Read the story. Look at the
you have to read the story to know if I was lying.
No, you just got to go to this story. You got to look at the last page or second to last page where Rusty said it's not all it's cracked up to be. My fucking joke.
I'm pretty sure it was my joke originally. Like I came up with that on my own.
You don't have jokes. None of them are good enough to remember. Then
that's
Rusty.
false. I have a lot of good memory.
Oh, now he's butthurt.
No, I'm just letting you know you're wrong.
Rusty, of course, he starts rubbing her feet and like with his feet and putting his boner on her and trying to fuck her, and she denies him. So now he just got denied sex and is super agitated already, and he gets even more agitated. He says, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go smoke more crack," and then it's over.
By the way, we are sponsored by Natural Light. Just kidding. They're all owned by Anheuser-Busch.
Where's your measure, your marker to so it's.
Let's see what the issue is.
Well, these are not even, so that's a fun issue. Well, how do you know where the beer is? That's what I'm saying. What are you feeling still?
You've got to let it settle.
So now we're just going to stand here on camera until beer settles.
Let's get ready to settle.
Should we pause this so this is ready to go?
Pause it.
All right, hold on a minute. All right, so I'm at a disadvantage because he chugs like a madman. So my only hope is that he gets all flustered and
trying to flip a cup,
which I think is a good chance that'll happen. So where are we starting from again?
Flustered from the outside in, so center mass here.
I'm flying when Daddy's around. People get nervous, so
my dad's not here.
Yes, he is.
I'm holding it.
All right, ready? Are we cheering or what are we doing?
Yeah, sure. We'll do a cheers.
So a cheers down drink.
Yeah, sure.
Just the first one. Obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna wait for you on the second one.
I mean, are you in frame? Should I move it more?
I was gonna be out of frame for this.
Be out of frame
for the first one, just because it was like off to the side. But yeah, there we go.
All right, motherfuckers. This is for you.
Oh shit. Oh god damn it.
Bitch. Oh shit.
Beer pong champion. I mean, flip cup champion. Yeah.
Damn it, I went so strong off the fucking rip. And he was fucking
That's
up.
just like a taco thing, but in reverse.
You were fucking up, and I was like, yes, he's fucking up. And then I started fucking up. Because I wasn't focused. I unfocused.
Fucking clean sweat the in there.
God damn it. Whew. What
We
bullshit.
still gotta finish.
I don't have to finish.
Game's not over.
Oh, you have to finish. You don't gotta put fucking hot sauce on your fucking burritos.
You made me want to throw up.
I won.
At least when I do something fast, it doesn't make you want to throw up.
You didn't want to throw up. You were just being
Yes,
dramatic.
it's on the camera. I almost fucking gagged.
I know. You can tell how dramatic it is.
I'm a dramatic person. I apologize. I'll clean the table, loser.
Fair enough. Natty Light tastes like shit. All right.
Tastes like white trash.
Oh, I didn't even say the hottie of the week.
Oh yeah, do that. Let's do that really quick, and then
Alexis Clark. Super hot. Big butt. Big titties. You know the deal. Super hot. Go tell her to come date me. She has to ask first, but I might give her permission. God damn, we did fuck up this table. That's it. Next time, there's probably not going to be a gimmick like this. This was kind of last thing.
Or will there be? We don't even fucking know.
We don't know. That's how much we plan. All right, spank you.